What is going on, guys? This is Prodigy, and today I'm bringing you a video, another one here, just to talk about a little topic. But the gameplay you're seeing right now is actually some H1Z1 King of the Kill. I know you guys have probably seen this game before. A lot of people are playing it. I finally caved in and decided to try it because I had a lot of fun watching this game. So, I figured I might as well actually try and play it for myself. And it's really fun. It's really addicting. The only problem is I'm not that good at it yet. So, I kind of just got a couple of clips in here and just kind of scattered them out throughout the video. And as well as just put some Overwatch in here. But yeah, because just to be straight up honest with you guys, I'm not very good at the game right now, but hopefully you'll be able to see more of me playing this on the channel as time goes by and I actually get good. But on to the topic. What I wanted to talk to you guys today about is esports and how esports is really, doing something. Esports is really changing, the kind of, I guess, changing the way we look at life right now, because esports is becoming a larger and larger accepted thing in today's society. If you had said like esports even as little as like 5-10 years ago, people would have looked at you crazy, like, esports, what are you talking about? They probably wouldn't even know what that is because it was so irrelevant back then, and this wasn't that long ago. But just recently, it's been, the last couple of years, it's really been blowing up, especially with the the larger games like League of Legends or StarCraft or CS:GO. And due to this, it's become widely popular. They actually broadcast some CS:GO tournaments live on TV. I was watching the CS:GO tournament on TBS, I believe it was, and a lot of people were watching it. They actually got the deal to broadcast it on television, and so that obviously means there's some interest there on a national level and even international. I'd say international more so, but what this kind of shows is that, like I was saying earlier, this is becoming more and more accepted as a path for people to take in their life. Some kids growing up right now in this generation, I'd say born in 1998 or 19, or maybe I'd say the 2000 babies on up, they probably are more inclined to, view this as an accepted path to take their life. Dare I even say career path? Because, just like kids want to be athletes and things of that nature, or singers or whatever, some kids may want to be professional esports players. And it's really hard to reject the idea that it is possible or that it's not possible, because it's being done, and it's being done every single day. And so one can't help but wonder, is this going to be a legitimate, alternative or option for kids growing up in school to look and say, I want to be a professional esports player. This is something that I want to do with my life. There's a game that I really love playing, and I want to get better and play it on a competitive level. Because that's honestly how a lot of kids look at playing sports. They grow up loving a game and they just want to keep playing it and keep playing it and play on a competitive level and get compensated for it, which is exactly what a lot of esports players are doing right now. You could probably name several guys, professional I'm going to say professional esports players because I don't want to narrow it down into specific games. But you guys could probably name a handful of esports players off the top of your head that are making a nice living for themselves just by playing a game that they love. And so you have to kind of be honest with it and look at it and say, okay, this is really blowing up. A lot of people are seeing huge success with this, and a lot of people aren't seeing success, but that goes with the nature of anything. Like I was comparing it to being an athlete before. But a lot of people are seeing success with this, more so in recent years than in the past ever before. So I have to recognize this as a legitimate possibility for somebody who wants to go that route. It's really, really hard to deny that, and honestly, you gotta, like I said, you gotta acknowledge it. And the good thing about esports is that the nature of it is that, it's something where you do at home, in the comfort of your own home, at your desk, at your computer, or, if you play on a TV, at your TV, whatever. It's something that you do on your time for the most part. So one could want to be a professional esports player and still do, quote unquote normal people activities, during the day. Like somebody could have a day job and, be a professional CSGO player, or a professional Call of Duty player. And of course, if they start to see large amounts of success, they're probably going to quit that job. But somebody could play on a competitive level in a game and still have a normal, regular, everyday job. And so you have to look at that as kind of a plus as opposed to being like an athlete, because if you're playing football on a professional level, you don't got time for a day job. Like even if you're on a practice squad for an NFL team, like that's your entire life. Like you don't have time to get a second job. You don't have time to do other things outside of football. When I say other things, I mean other things for money, like jobs. So if you look at that as esports, even if you don't earn a lot of money as an esports player, you have that freedom to still have another job to have your everyday income and then still do what you love, which is game. Because people play games every single day, for hours upon hours, but they don't do it on a professional level. They just do it because it's fun. So when these guys decide they want to do it on a competitive level, and even still may want to keep their day job, it is completely possible. Now, most esports players do play for a large portions of the day, and so they don't typically have day jobs because they typically start really young, and so they never really just get into that level. But plenty of people do. Like a good example is Nadeshot. Nadeshot used to work at McDonald's when he was playing Call of Duty on a professional level. And so, that's just an example. But, once he, won a major tournament, he of course quit that job. But the point is to say that, he was playing on a professional level and still had a job on the side, to make regular income, so that is completely possible. And that is why I think that it is something that should definitely be considered if you like playing games on a competitive level, if you like gaming in general, and there's a particular game you like and are good at, it's worth considering, going to a competitive level if that's something you're interested in. And for the newer generation coming up in school right now, whether you be in middle school or high school, I think it will be a lot more popular to have kids saying that they want to be professional esports players. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as it's reasonable. Like even with being an athlete or something like that, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be reasonable. Like, okay, am I good at this game? Can I get better at this game? Is this something I can legitimately pursue and enjoy? If you look at it with a level head and not just like, oh, I want to play games for a living because I game, I might as well get paid for it, because it's not easy. Being an esports player is definitely not easy. And so it is something you're going to have to be honest with yourself about and seriously consider if this is something worth pursuing that you want to do. So, but all in all, I really do think that it's a good idea, because esports is steadily evolving, year after year. It's just getting bigger and bigger. And I'm really interested and kind of excited to see how large it can become and how much of a part of our daily lives it will, consume, or it will show itself, I should say. Maybe we'll have esports tournaments on ESPN one day. Who knows? That was rumored to happen not too long ago, so who knows if that could come into fruition. But I'm going to kind of leave it off there. I want to hear some of you guys' opinions, or read some of you guys' opinion, I should say. So please leave a comment down in the comment section on what you think of this particular topic. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Drop a like on the video too if you would like to see my channel grow, and if you did enjoy the video, I would appreciate that simple like button. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. So once again, this is Prodigy, and I thank you guys for listening.